Hi, everybody. You're joining us at VA to VA Live, Mastermind Live, and we're doing a great video today live. We'd love for you to join us in the chat, and we've even invited some to join us live today. And so we're so excited about that. We're going to talk about year end and New Year's and gifting and all the things that happen at the end of the year. I'm Tammy Durden, and I own Tammy's Office Solutions, as well as Fearless Boss Babes Coaching, and I'm one of the founders here with two other ladies that I love. And I'm going to let the others join in and introduce themselves. I have Nanette. She'll introduce herself in a minute, but I also want to introduce our special guest, George May, and he's one of our students. So we're so excited for him to join us today. And George, if you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing with a multi-VA company.
Well, how you doing? Thank you for that. Thank you for inviting me to this session today. I really appreciate that. Again, my name is George May, and I am presently a project manager. A senior project manager is my day job, but I'm looking to move over again to have a multi-VA business. The name of my business is called Jemay VA. Jemay VA Virtual Assistants, which is a play on my name, George May. So Jemay. Looking to, again, create the multi-VA business. Looking to, well, my key thing is I have a women's group, or I should say a single parents group. And what we're trying to do is I'll be utilizing them as my staff. Providing them with employment, part-time employment, secondary income for them, along with for myself being able to lead and manage that group. Should I say more?
That's awesome. I love it, and I love the word. I love the play on your name too. I think that's really great, and I love your mission to be able to help single moms and to be able to get in there and work again. And you're working with an organization. You're going to have a nonprofit too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm going to have a nonprofit also. And that wing, actually, we'll be doing some training. And a lot of it is not just training as far as on systems and things, but more so some life skills training also. Mm-hmm. So we're going to help out the entire family. So my whole mission is keeping the family unit together. It all came from when I seen I was working in a part-time position, and I was working alongside a single mom, and she was literally crying one evening. And I was like, what's the matter? It's because she was not able to put our kids to sleep, watch them go to bed. And she was like doing it on the phone for a while, and I was having her Skype and all, but she was literally just one day just crying. And so we just talked, and I just said, she was say, oh, I wish there was a way that I could actually work from home and do something and be there for them. And that was kind of like the impetus. That kind of like, I have been thinking about this for a while. And that was actually, I guess, and I'm spiritual. I believe in the Lord. So maybe if someone doesn't, but I have been praying about what I should be doing. And to me, that was the Lord giving me that message saying, this is the time, this is the opportunity. You can be the person that can actually bless someone else. So that's really, I feel it's my calling. So, and you see right here, I don't know if you see my cap, that's my logo, Jemay VA. You probably can't see that one.
Yay! I love it. He's already got branding. That's awesome. I'm a fellow believer, so I totally agree with you. Mine landed in my lap in a way too. So I totally understand that, and being guided into that. Definitely, the Lord definitely guided me as well. So I just, he's going to use you in a lot of ways, and he'll bless you in it too. So I'm so excited for your journey to begin soon. I know you're kind of hoping for the new year, and so we're so excited for you. And of course, our group is, supporting it any way we can. Also, make sure you're in the bigger group. I put you in there as well, because that'll help. And we just love our group in there. So I'm sorry, Nanette, I've got to introduce you still. So you go.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be silly. We want to hear these things. It's perfect. Exactly. Because you're going to help others, by telling your story helps others to be encouraged and inspired to also begin their journey.
That's right. That's right.
So Nanette, please introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm Nanette Telemack, and I'm with In Essence Virtual Assistants out of Newbury, New Hampshire. I started my business in 2013 and went full-time with it, letting go of working a full-time job last November. So I've been spending this year, now it's a year, being full-time, just building clients and building my business and try to stay focused and follow my plan. So that's me, and I'm a generalist. So I do anything from building websites to just regular administrative tasks. But I do marketing, digital marketing, project management, and SEO, and social medias, all of it.
So. Can you believe it's been a year already?
No.
I know. It seemed like yesterday. We were so excited in introducing that you were going full time. So yeah, that's amazing. So I'm so excited and so happy for you now.
Thank you.
In a year. Gosh, I can't even believe it. I can't believe it's been over 10 for me.
Wow.
It's amazing. It goes quickly. It does indeed. So oh, Christina, I see you're in the audience. And Christina comments, God bless, that's a beautiful way to serve, George. See, I told you. Christina, you're more than welcome to join us live. I think Nanette sent you a private message on Facebook with the link. So if you have time to join us live, come on in. We'd love to introduce you as well. And anybody else has questions, please post them. So we're talking about year end and gifting first. And it's really hard sometimes. We all struggle with this, especially since we're contracted. And there are clients and we have a team. So it's like, you want to appreciate your team and you want to appreciate your clients. And I've struggled with this over the years too. And there's been times I've done nothing, times a card, you know what I mean? It just depends on the year. And sometimes my health as to what I can do. But so I know that I think one of the things that I was thinking about this year, and we'll start with our team, because you have to be careful. You can't do a bonus, or anything like that for your team because they're contracted, they're not employees. So that would be construed as an employee benefit, so to speak. And but one of the things that I thought about that someone did with me was a gift card or a gift certificate, like Amazon or, anywhere really, just about anywhere, because we can all use it, or even Office Max, because, our team is also their own business. So they need office supplies and other things. And that was one thing I was thinking about this year. Even a small amount helps, and lets them know they're appreciated, So I think that's the important part, is keeping our team motivated and knowing that we so appreciate them. So Nanette, Christina cannot find the link. Do you want to just put it in the chat maybe and just let her click in?
Here on the chat?
I'm on the chat on YouTube. On YouTube?
On YouTube. Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah. She's going to get it to you, Christina. Hold on. And so that's one of the things I was thinking about this year. And I know you can do small gifts and things like that, but then because we're all virtual and remote, then you have to think about shipping and those kinds of things as well. So depending on the year you've had, may depend on what you do. I know like Harry and David have great baskets and wonderful things like that, which you can also use for a client for appreciation. What are some things that you do or thinking about doing, Nanette? I don't want to interrupt your flow if you're working on giving her a link.
Am I on? You can hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not doing much this year because I'm on a tight budget, but I want to show appreciation. So in terms of my customers, I want to let them know that I appreciate their business. So I'll probably do a special card. I've done that in the past where I made a Photoshop snow globe,
Wow.
and sent that to them as my own, Christmas card or holiday card, and sent them out to them. And I'll probably do something like that. I think taking the time to make something original than just something you find anywhere and send it to them shows them that, I took the time to do that for them. So that's what I'll do.
Great. George, do you have any ideas for us or things that you might have thought about? You might not have gotten that far yet.
No, I haven't gotten that far, but wow. I was thinking, like you said about the gift card idea. I think it's a great idea, and like a lot of people do like the Starbucks, and
oh yes, I love Starbucks.
yeah, that's I'm like a type of person. I like giving like it's kind of weird, but I was going to think about giving out these little mugs that I know that, and it's funny, I'll say it. The dollar store has these around where I live. I'm in Manassas Park, Virginia, and we have a dollar store, and they have these really cute mugs, and they're really, really inexpensive. And I was thinking about something like that would be great, or even the I'm a workout person, so the little canisters you can use for water, holding water and stuff. So something along that line.
Yeah, and the water bottles are huge. Really a big deal right now. So that's great. That's a great idea.
Something along that line.
Awesome. Yeah, the water bottles are huge. Really a big deal right now. So that's great. That's a great idea.
Something along that line.
Uh-oh, we're getting that feedback again, ladies.
The water bottles are huge,
Okay. Really, do you have the YouTube up? Do you have YouTube up?
Uh-oh, we're getting that feedback again, ladies.
It's going to keep looping. If you have YouTube open in the chat, you have to make sure it's paused, honey.
Uh-oh, we're getting that
I closed mine down. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Hi, Christina. We're so glad that you're joining us today. Hey, will you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your company. And are you a multi-BA company yet? Or where are you in your journey?
Sure. My name's Christina. I am just starting out launching my own VA company. I've been a small business owner, and I've had several businesses, more brick and mortar and food. And the past year and a half, I've been freelancing for a marketing agency, and it's just time for me to kind of go off on my own and do my own thing. And eventually my goal is to have a multi-VA agency as well.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. That's exciting. And I know you're on an exciting journey, and we're excited to see, how it all goes. And we're here for you to support you as well. So thanks for joining us today. So we're just talking about the year-end stuff and some ideas for clients and gifting for teams and things like that. Do you have any ideas or things from even your past businesses that you might have done?
I you guys were mentioning gift cards. I love gift cards.
I do too. And the other thing is about gift cards, well, depending on what it is, of course, but I always love to get gift cards at Christmas because it seemed like after the holiday, everything was so marked down, you got a better deal. So if I had bought one of my kids a sweater or something after Christmas, versus, rather than giving him the sweater at Christmas, if he had the gift card, he could have got it half off, and get twice for his money. So, I love that. And I think Starbucks, George is right on, and Amazon and any office store too, of course, especially for our teams. I think that's great. And I think that for our clients, even, that special card that just says, we really appreciate you this time. People give us calendars, that has their name on it, so it reminds you all year, about them and to use their services. Trying to think, and even mugs, specialty mugs or hats, as George already has his branding done.
I've been doing my homework.
What's that?
I've been doing my homework.
I know.
You ladies said, get started, work on it every day, a little bit every day, work on it, don't give up. Don't contact us, we'll support you. I believed it. I'm trying.
He's a cheerleader for us now. We're thrilled, and we can't wait to see all the success you're going to have, Fortune, and how you're going to support those single moms too.
Yeah, that's
going
so
to be
great.
Incredible. So we're so excited for you.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I think those are all great ideas. I think also you could think about edibles, the fruit baskets. You have to be careful with that because, if they're not there during the holiday, that could be bad. They come back to something not so nice.
Yeah, allergies.
Yes, yeah, and so even like I said, Harry and David are great, but they have peanuts and things in there, and so many people have nut allergies now.
Yeah.
So for me, I think definitely the card and a small gift card, just showing your appreciation, and now you can even send them as e-gift cards, so you don't have to even mail them.
Amazon.
Make sure.
Amazon.
I know, but make sure they get it because sometimes. Let them know something special is coming and to watch for, because sometimes it goes into that other email and then they may never even know they have it.
Right.
So, I know that's happened to me before. So you just want to make sure that they do receive it too. So then we're going to go on to goals and meeting our goals for the end of the year. And, setting goals is important in the business and, in every part of our business, every part of the journey, even if you're setting monthly, weekly, all of that. But of course, you want to set quarterly and yearly and where you're going to be in the next few years even. And some of that's done in a business plan, but also just as you journey along, you're going to find there's things that change. And so you have to adjust and, hopefully for the better. But sometimes there's a downturn too in the market. And so you have to adjust for that as well. So I would love for you guys to share some of your goals, whether met or unmet, and how you plan on meeting them if they're not met. So Nanette, you want to start us out?
Well, I had some plans getting to this end of the year, and, some were met and some were not. I had a certain amount of clients I was hoping to achieve by the end of the year, and I haven't reached that, but I have. But I have been working hard, so I have a lot of possibilities going forward in the new year, which is great. So I think what I'm doing is my other plan that I'm trying to finish is updating my website. And that's been a slow process because most of my time is spent with clients and trying to use the weekends to do it. So I'm hoping that the goal I want to meet now is that I do finish my website before the new year, because I want it done by the new year. And so I'm kind of pushing myself to get that done on the weekends and at night. Going forward, my plan is just to continually, prospect for new customers and slowly, work myself up to where I need to be. And that's on track as long as I stay consistent, because that's the key, is staying consistent. And it's so easy to get bogged down when you have a new customer and you want to show them how, what you're doing, and you're focusing so much on them and letting the prospecting drop in the wayside. But you can't do that. And I can't do that. So that's what I'm working on.
So true. It's always marketing, isn't it? Because even when we have clients and we think we're full at the moment, you still need to be marketing, because a client could roll up, or like I had one sell our business, and so you just never know what's going to be down the road. So you always need to be definitely marketing your business, right? And I think it's wonderful that you're, getting there in track of what you're hoping to achieve and meet those goals as well. For me, consistency was a big goal this year too, because it's so hard. Like you said, you get bogged down in the daily business, even just working on your business, but still trying to share and market and everything else. Christina, share with us some of yours.
Well, for the end of the year, I'm going to get my website up and running, get all my marketing ready, because I found that I had a call with like a potential client, and they asked me about my packages, and I was like, oh, I was you really need those things in place. So that's what I'm just going to be working on. And then also a networking plan for January, because for me, getting out and meeting people and talking to people is not only good for like my mental, my mental state. So I'm going to work on a marketing networking plan for January.
That's great. And it is so important, like you're saying, just getting out networking and making the connections and relationships. It's all about that, but also for our mental state, because it's easy to stay in. I mean, honestly, especially if I'm down or ill, I could be in for months and not even realize it's been that long. So yeah, you definitely have to get out and network and just get out and even sometimes work in a different place, at Panera, Starbucks, things like that. And sometimes that can help too. And you might even have people ask you what you're doing and make prospects there. And you're right about having those packages in place and everything. It's so true, because when people call, they don't want us to stutter through it. They want us to be confident of what we're offering them. And but also honest, if you're just starting, it's okay to stutter through a little bit. And I find that website is always a work in progress. I am always working and changing mine up. I don't know about anybody else, but that's how I feel.
Well, mine's due for an overhaul,
Gotcha.
in a big way.
Big one.
And so I've been baby stepping through it, like page per page, because I want each page to really say, what I do and really hit the customer in terms of how I solve their issues, which is the way they should be. And so, but I'm also building web pages for my customers. So, but it's been great because what I do for my customers and what they hope to do reminds me that I need to do this for myself. So it's been great in that way. So.
You have to actually be your own customer at this point, right?
Yeah, exactly. I have to think about it like that. Yeah. And that's what I've been doing. Like, okay, I'm, who are my customers? Speak to them. What do I want as a look and things of that nature. So it's been really good. And then what I wind up doing is learning that it helps me offer even better services to my customers.
You're so right about that. That's very true, Nanette. I think that's absolutely true, and hones our skills. George, how about yourself? I know you had a lot of goals.
Yeah, well, I think the major goals for me were, one was actually first one, making a decision to go forward with this endeavor. I think that's one. And then it was, for me, it was like, okay, what do I do? So it was like doing the research. So that's something I completed. I did some research and came across the lovely ladies' set classes and course you had. And I think for me, it was like getting through the coursework. Went through it one time and then went through it, going through it again. So that's a goal also I have, to go through it once again and kind of, that's why you see some emails come from me, because I have like additional questions. So it was getting through that training. And something also, I think you all mentioned during the training, which became clarified something for me, was I had to like try to change my mindset, because like I said, my big thing is about doing project management. And you can tell by the questions I ask, I'm coming from, I guess, the corporate way of looking at it. And that's like it's a big mind shift, and so it was like a big goal was to change the mind shift. So I actually have, like, you'll laugh, but on like one of my screensavers, it has like my company name and all. Then it says, "You are the boss. You are the, the president, CEO." It's a kind of reminder every day to get in that mindset, So I think, again, the choosing project management as a service I wanted to have. Also, something I'm going to do, which I didn't realize I could do, is it's called cartooning. And I actually, somewhat in my present job, there's a young lady, a woman in our education department, who we do cartooning together. We do like videos together for the company. And I was like, you know what? I can do that too. It's another service I can do. And I had someone else actually ask me something about like marketing and using it. I'm going, well, did you ever think about? And they go, well, no, but tell me more. And I was like, and it's like you said, I package. I don't have a package. I don't have anything together. Like, okay, hold on. I had to hide my hat. Like, wait. It's a work in progress right now. I'm a work in progress. So, please bear with me. So at least I got people bearing with me. They know I'm just beginning out in the journey, and that was had a moment like that. So, but so it's that, the turning in the packages, getting the website. That's a big thing. Now I have a question. Now, do you also would say get a Facebook page? Would that also be something that's I should be adding to my goals of getting that done at the same time as the website?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I would work on everything else first and then start a business page, because really you want to make sure you have your foundations, like who you are, what your packages are, your website, because everybody wants to go to a website the moment you start talking about your business. And so having that place to go, then you start immediately deciding, because that's another big plan. What websites do you want to concentrate on? You don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many, because you are going to have enough on your plate to do. And then, putting together an editorial calendar so you don't have to struggle every day. Like, oh yeah, I got to post today. I have to make myself aware. So that's all a whole nother set of planning that maybe you'll find somebody to do for you if you have the money to offer, or you do it yourself in the beginning. I did it myself in the beginning. So you have to take it in chunks, like blocks. Right now you're working on your marketing, you're working on what you are, and your 30, your elevator speech and your packages. And then you start working on the awareness, getting the awareness out, and the social media sites and stuff like that.
I'll be honest with you. It's funny you say that, Nanette, about the awareness. I would say that's the biggest, I want to call it an obstacle that I've actually been going through like this month, say, or really the latter part of last month was, the perception of what the VA industry is. And people looking at is like, what did you call it in the session? Like the one-offs or the inexpensive, cheap, I've been dealing with that, and that's what actually stopped me at one point. It stopped me for a day or two. I'm like, well, you know what, this is not going to work. And then I prayed about it. And I actually opened up the sessions again. I went back to the sessions and said, okay, let me read this and this. Let me listen to this. It is encouraging. So that's like, getting past that it's still at times it gets me, but getting past that. And I think, like you say, if I get the foundation together I think once I get the packages together, that's going to kind of get behind me and all. But that was an obstacle.
I think that our industry is changing a lot right now. And one of the things that's changing about it is that virtual assistants, for one thing, is getting confused with Alexa and Siri and all of that, the terminology. And secondly, it also has the connotation of just admin. So rather than all the specialties that we now offer, which a lot of people don't realize. So what you might consider is, okay, offer general admin virtual assistant as one of your services, but then offer like the marketing piece as a separate, that's another service you offer, but that's going to be a higher price because they're going to expect to pay higher price for marketing or SEO or project management. Those are higher end services rather than general admin. So, and I tell people, this all the time when I coach and mentor, that this, I help them with that because it is a mindset, and it's a mindset for our prospective client as well. Because if you say assistant, in their mind, that's just the person sitting at the desk and doing general, administrative work. And what they don't realize, then if they're looking for a social media specialist or, one of those other specialists, they don't tend to think of us necessarily in that terminology. And I've changed. I started using virtual professionals probably 4 years ago, and that's becoming a big term. And freelancer is another big term right now. So
yeah, I agree. And the sad part about it is that our people in our industry can't make up their minds either. So they go back and forth and say, "Well, I'll never use virtual assistant in a title." But my problem with that is that if you look at the categories, business categories in the corporate world, there isn't any category for what we do. Now, we've been throwing around virtual assistant for a long time, and it has evolved into marketing and web development and project management and a whole array of office support. But yet the name hasn't captured the business categories that you're supposed to see everywhere. Right. And so, I mean, how many times have you signed up for something? They say, what business are you in? And you can't find it anywhere. Right. It fits you. unless it says professional services, and a lot of people associate that with contractors that build your house. So
Right.
it's an ongoing issue. But I think that whether you call yourself anything, marketing, whatever, if you have the word virtual in there, that's really what I think is most important.
Yeah.
It's like a virtual professional, virtual marketing support, virtual admin, virtual assistant. I have virtual assistant in my title, but underneath that, I say I'm a business I say what you say, Tammy, a virtual professional, because basically I do an all service support for a small business, and that's how I sell it. And when they say, well, how do you do it all? Well, I have team members that I could bring in to help me. And so then that makes them feel better. So I think right now is that as an industry on our own, and we've been around for a while, we have to come to some conclusion for ourselves that we'll all accept, and then go forward. But what you name yourself, to me, some people are sticklers, and say, well, to me, virtual assistant always means admin, and that's that. But I think you have to define yourself to your customers.
And that's so important, especially when you're marketing, making sure that the wording, the copy reads to the prospective client, not to you, saying, I'm great at this or whatever. Well, you need to really answer their problem. How are you going to solve their problem? What are you going to do for them, that they might be looking for or not even looking for sometimes? And they'll, say, I saw this and I think it's great. I need to work on that, So you'll be surprised at what you get. But I also really encourage the packages, because before I had packages up anyway, I would get those, what I call tire kickers. The people who really can't afford services yet, but really need them. Right. And so they call around and they want it for $10 an hour, And when you say what your price is, they're like, they want to argue with you, like you have to prove it. And so when I finally put up my packages, though, I rarely got that anymore, because people could see, go to my site and see what, and if that was out of their range, that's okay. They didn't have to call, because that wasn't the client, that's the ideal client for me. So, and coming to terms with that, sometimes a mindset as well, because you feel like in the beginning, you want to take, even if you have to cut your pricing a little and all of that. But, I really encourage you, especially if you both have the skills already. So, be sure to market yourself properly and price yourself properly, because if you're confident in it, your clients will also be confident in paying it, believe me. And then always, over deliver, under promise, over deliver. Right. And then they're going to be super happy, So anyway, one of the things when we're talking about goals, I know for me, when you talk about what helps you keep goals or, achieve your goals, one of the new things I started doing this year was I got the bullet journal. Love, love, love my bullet journal.
Bullets?
Awesome.
The bullet journal?
Bullet, BULLET journal. If you go on their site and just watch an intro, you'll see how it can be used. And it's so creative. And all it is dots on a page, in a little journal. But, you can use it for so many things. And some people are real creative and do all kinds of stuff with it. But for me, it was a matter of, even though I would digitally do check boxes and to-do lists, this made much more sense for me. I like the writing of it. I like planning it ahead. If I don't have my computer open, I can actually, write additional things. And, so for me, just actually planning way in advance, even you plan, even quarter at a time if you want. And for me, that's really helped. And I put a little box next to each one and check it off as I do it, or they have ways to mark them if you need to move it forward. And, it's really clever. And I know it's not for everybody, but for me, it was a huge, huge way for me to meet my goals this year, because, or even just my, standards I was setting for myself, because it seemed like I would set too high a standard that I wouldn't get it all done in the day. And so then I would be disappointed and feel like you didn't get anything done. And then when you do something like that, whatever it is, a daily planner or bullet journal, whatever it is, you can really see you really got a lot done in that day. Look at all that you got done. And you use it for professional, but also put your personal things, whatever it is in there that you have to do for that day. All of it's important. And it's great to check it off and say, I did something today, I achieved that goal. And I even have pages that just say goals, and I have pages for, creating and planning my posting and, different things like that for my courses that I'm offering, and the ideas outlines there, so you have different pages and you can do different things with them. But it was a huge way of me really making a step forward in my productivity and my goals this year. Anybody else have anything they use like that or similar?
What I've been finding works for me is audio notes for myself. I tend to come up with some great ideas, like when I, how they used to tell you that when you keep a pad and paper next to your bedside because they could jot down ideas you get. I can't write that fast. The thoughts are coming through real fast, and as I'm writing, it's like, what did I just think? So I don't want to do that. But what I have been doing is using my phone, and in it's it's audio recorder. And since my phone's always with me, I turn it on and I start talking to myself, like in the old dictation days. But I'll say, oh, I want to do this, and I have to do this with my customer, or this is a great idea to write about, a blog about, or post about. And so I could always go and listen back on that when I have to. I also, so I don't forget when I have when I'm talking to a customer, I have it set so that it kicks on and starts recording a conversation I'm having with my customer. So when I forget something that they talked about, I can go back, and that's my notes. And so I find that for me to be helpful, because I can't write fast enough. I just can't to capture the ideas that's going on.
I think that's a great idea. I would probably then take it and then capture the bullet points or whatever that I needed from there. But I think that's awesome, because I know what you mean by that. The thoughts just keep coming, and you're like, oh, hold on, I just had another one. What was it? So I think that's a great idea. How about you guys, George or Christina? Is there anything that you use, Post-it or whatever? George, you said you have a screensaver to help you stay focused and keep the mindset. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, I just cleaned off my whiteboard. I resurrected my whiteboard that was in my closet in my basement that my kids had. And, I need to have something in front of my face, all the time. Anything tech, it just gets lost for me. Right. So I try to have that, so I can be reminded of it. So,
that's a great idea.
I have, finished website in 5 different notebooks and planners and
Right. Yeah. The consistency, and that's it. If you're not using it, it's not going to work. Right. Yeah. So that's great. Yeah, no, I love the whiteboard. I have some of those behind me too. So yeah, for different things. So I have my clients listed, and then I have the team member and what they're working on, what we do for them, that kind of stuff. And then I also have another board where I have team members needed for, so that I know what's next on my list to, bring on new team members for as well. So, yeah. And then I think too, the goals, that's awesome. Whether it's finishing the website or, bringing on a new team member. I think that's a great idea. How about you, George? Any other pointers?
Yeah, actually, Microsoft Planner, and yeah, I use Microsoft Planner, and it kind of I put things in different buckets, and it's funny. It helps me out because I love technology. And it gives you these daily reminders in your email, which is great because I actually need that all the time. So it reminds me in the morning, I have things to do if I ever get behind something. But it makes me sit down for a few moments. And it's kind of that's one of the first things I do is I look at Microsoft Planner and see what things I have to do. And like you said, I like seeing that I can put things in different stages. Like this one I haven't started yet. Okay, now I'm working on it, put it in progress, and almost. I even have a bucket, almost finished stage. Get it done now stage. Hey, wait a minute, put urgency. Get this done right now. So it's kind of, I put things like I talk to myself almost. You said you wanted to get this done, remember? Yeah, you put it in that bucket right there. So that's my. I have you guys are laughing at me like crazy.
No, that's awesome because you got to do what works for you, right? And that's a project manager in you too by splitting it into the stages and everything. And I think that we've talked a lot about using Rike, but maybe that's the perfect system for you.
Actually, funny. I actually gonna say it too. I've started using Rike. I like Smartsheet also because Smartsheet is just like MS Project, just in the Excel. That's all it is. The difference in it. So I like that, but the cost of it right now I can't deal with. But I've been working on playing around with Rike, and I like that also. I was saying, Nanette, I have the same thing like you too. With that, I can't write, like especially when I have meetings. I can't write notes. I'm not a note taker. I'm not good at that at all. So I record. I use Skype and I record the meetings I have. But you gave a great thing when you said that you record your audio on your phone. I never knew I could even do that. So that, I mean, because that way I can focus more. Like in meetings, I can't focus if I have to take notes. I'm totally lost. I'm like, no. But it was a great idea you had with on the phone, and you said you record your thoughts on your phone, and also even a client call. You would
yeah. I have one that's just a voice recorder, so I can click it for me. But I also downloaded an app that records phone calls, and you can set it to say as a call comes in, it will automatically cut on and record. The problem with that is that if you have robocalls, you're gonna have to go in there and delete it because it's gonna eat up all your memory. But I like it that way because I can just easily go in and say delete my sister, delete. It's like I don't need to, but when somebody's calling and wants to ask me whether it's a prospect and wants to ask me about my pages and stuff, now I have a record of what I said, what they said, and I can go back and refer to it. So it's just an app, and that you can get from Google Play. And it's just set to start recording as soon as someone calls. So, wow, which is, and I like it. I just need to remember to go in there and delete what's not important.
Another to do.
Yes, another to do, but a very simple one. But another thing that I find is good is I use my weekends. I always have, before I go to bed every night, I always have prepare for the next day. So I outline what I need to tackle as soon as I wake up. And then the weekends, I kind of look at everything, like week with my customers and what I need to do for myself and start setting up what I need to prepare for the coming week, and also what I'm going to do for my company on my own in the weekends. And I don't have any kids, so I don't know about you guys, but so I don't have to worry about balancing too much except time with my husband. But it's easy to do that in the football season. So I get a lot done.
Hot wings or something to drink.
He loves that you're already self-absorbed and doing it, not self-absorbed, but you're absorbed into your business doing that because then you're not asking him to do things.
Exactly.
One note I did want to make though about recording clients is make sure anybody that you're recording, if you have that, make sure you tell them. You cannot, I think legally, check with lawyers if you need to, but I'm not a lawyer, but I think that you cannot record somebody without their knowledge. So just make sure when you talk to them, and then what do you usually tell them?
Let them know.
I think you cut out. I'm sorry. Are you there?
I do. I do let them know that they're being, that I'm recording what we're saying, so I can refer back to them. They don't care because they want to remember too. And I tell them I delete it.
Clients will appreciate it, I'm sure, because that way you're getting everything and not just going, oh yeah, what was I supposed to?
I just delete it once I told them I'm going to transfer it, just so I make sure I cover everything, and then it's going to be deleted. And they trust me. There's a trust factor. They're going to work with you. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's a great point in how to achieve goals and everything else, and even your to-dos with clients and everything else, because no matter what project management system we're using, no matter how many emails we send, there can be a lot lost in translation. So I think that's great. And if you would, after the video's over, could you post in the thread what that app is? And then, you know, people can grab it from there if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I'll be happy to.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome. So, so we've talked about last year. Now going forward, it's easy to have grandiose ideas, like, you know, I'm going to have $1 million by the end of the year in revenue. But to set realistic goals, you know, you want to set those smart, realistic goals. And it was funny because one of the things when I was doing a little research on goal setting and things like that, I came across something called Set SMART Goals, SMART. And it's called be specific, have them be measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So I think if you remember those things, you know, that they're SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound, you know, I think that's a great way to do it, because I can tell you, I'm the ultimate optimistic type person. And I think, oh, you know, yeah, I can conquer the world sometimes. And then other times I go, no. But, you know, and I think, okay, so by the end of the year, I want to da, 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 you know, whatever it is, even revenue, have so many team members, clients, you know, and all of that. But then it's easy to become disappointed when halfway through the year, you're seeing, oh, I don't think I'm going to meet that goal. So let it be, you know, measurable. Like if you look at this year even, and you guys just starting out, what is a good goal for the next year for team members, clients, revenue? You know, when you look at those things, you know, doing research, market research and other things are going to be important for you to do also, so that you can set attainable goals. And I think that then once you do have a year behind you, doing a percentage, you know, don't just go for the world. Increase year by XYZ, you know, whatever percentage you think is really attainable. Any other pointers, Nanette?
For people starting out, I would say make sure that you are doing the financial part. Nobody likes that part. I don't. But it's going to be important in terms of having your business account and your personal account, and make sure you're starting to log in, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet or QuickBooks or something, you know, what's business expenses and what's business, and whether or not you want to jump right in and become an LLC as opposed to a sole proprietor because of the different tax breaks, but then it may be more expensive for you. Getting insurance, that kind of basic stuff is really important. It's going to protect you if the IRS or if your very first, you know, customer happens to be somebody that's a jerk and wants to sue you for something that you didn't do. So having insurance to protect yourself is really important. To me, that's like really important to make sure you get straight before you start.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because a lot of times I mentor brand new VAs and they're stuck on, you know, the steps, like, what do I do first? Where do I go? And all of that. And when I mentor within, you know, the VA classroom community, one of the things is, you know, that step-by-step plan, you know, so I tell them, excuse me, if they haven't even set up yet, you know, I'll do the steps. You know, you got to register with your state, you have to register with the Fed, you have to get your EIN, you know, insurance, you know, all of those steps. And that helps them so much, just that simple little, you know, this is what you need to do, because it's so overwhelming in the beginning when you're thinking about starting a business. It just seems very overwhelming of what all do you need to do. And it's simple if you take it step by step. But if you're thinking of it, you know, a lot of people spend a lot of money on lawyers and, you know, accountants and everything else. I'm not saying there isn't a place there. Yes, absolutely. You should, maybe for contracts and things like that. If you need to plan your finances, yes, go to a CPA. Excuse me. But just take those simple steps in the beginning to get set up. And insurance, when you do the insurance, remember to get E&O insurance, errors and omissions, because that's going to be important too, as well as I think there's an intellectual property one now. So check into those things. I include intellectual property as a clause in my contract for them and for me, because I don't want them to steal any of mine either. So I include that in the contracts for my clients now. But so yeah, definitely. And if you're dealing with finances, sometimes you need to be bonded. You know, some accounting type things need to be bonded. So those are just things to consider. So what kind of goals are you guys setting though? I'm looking forward to hearing what you're setting for the new year. Christina?
Well, I'm just looking at Q1 right now. I can only imagine that things change and evolve in this first year. So for me, I'm going to set a goal of like at least once a week, either doing some kind of networking or some kind of meeting with a prospect, or some kind of way of touching a live person. And then I'm going to be my kind of goal is to look at referral partners and kind of go that angle. Look at people who are figure out my ideal client and who else touches them, and kind of make connections that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully I'm looking for at least 3 clients by end of Q1.
Great, that's awesome. And I love the referral partner idea, because and especially in the beginning, and often you're going to give them a little percentage or some kind of bonus, or refer them as well. But yeah, definitely people, I've had my own CPA refer bookkeeping clients before to me. I've had others, whether it be clients, of course, are great, because I have one client, she's just a super cheerleader for me. And then, definitely do that, as well as think about your banker at your business account, those kind of people, because they're going to come in contact with all kinds of businesses. And so if you get to know your banker a little bit, or somebody at the bank when that happens. And it's funny because my daughter-in-law works with a bank. Works at a bank, and I tell her, I said, well, if you have a business client and needs help, please. And she said they can't refer people; they're not allowed to talk about businesses. But I will tell you that in the back end of that, some of those that are in charge of marketing and other pieces, not at the teller or not right at the loan and things like that, those other pieces of the bank can do that, and they're the connectors of the bank. So yeah, and I'm trying to think, insurance, lots of, insurance agents come in contact with all kinds of business people as well. So yeah, I love that. You're looking back to see who touches them. I love that. That's great. George, what about you?
Like the next is that foundation. Getting for me, it's like once I get everything like set, all the paperwork, everything done, then I kind of that'll ease that moment. But doing that, and like Christine, like you said, I'm going to there's a coffee house. One of my better friends, they're really close. He owns a place called Girani Coffee House. It's in Old Town Manassas, and actually a lot of small business owners go there. And I'm like one of the actually people who I help them do marketing also. So I'm going to kind of like make my point to get, like you said, get out of my home office here and sit down there and just set up shop there for a bit, and get, like you said, get in and kind of talk to people, work on the elevator speech, have that down, have the packages down, and also I want to have, if I can, I guess for the year itself, if I can get, it might be a stretch to have at least like 3 of the moms on my team, have 3 of them already up and going by the end, before the end of the year. So I mean that's going to be a key for me. So that, and then getting the nonprofit rolling also. So
that's awesome. That's a lot of goals, but I think they're attainable. It's just taking it the one step at a time. So maybe before the end of the year, you're going to work on getting your LLC, getting your name, domain. Make sure you get those things registered with the state and Fed. That doesn't take hardly any time. So you could do that in less than an hour, probably. I
have the LLC. I got the domain name. I've been doing the homework.
Love it.
LLC got the domain name. I got that. So it's more so like taking like it's the other things, the other things that you like talking about, like the insurance and packages. That right there. I think that's what I really have to get down.
And honestly, in the group, ask people what insurance companies they're using, what they found to be a great insurance company for our industry, because you'd be surprised, the ones you think maybe aren't can turn out to be good, and they can connect you a lot of times to a great agent too that's going to work for you. So, that's a great question to ask in the group. It really is, because I think they'd have a lot of input for you.
That's something that's funny to mention, that is that, again, the mindset change. And, is I really didn't think that I would think be more competition and people like not wanting to give information. So I was kind of hesitant to ask those questions. But, now I'm feeling more comfortable, so I can go ahead and, I think people say, like, why is he asking me all this? Why don't he go find out himself? I'm like, you know what I mean?
You know what? I think you will find this, and you belong to a couple groups now, but I think you will find, and this amazed me too, because at first I didn't want to join either, thinking the competition end of it, right?
Right.
I will tell you, in our industry, it's more about collaboration and how we can help each other. Because you know what? I might get a client that's not going to be a good fit for me, but would be great for you. So you might get a referral from me. You know what I mean? And the same throughout the industry. The more you get to know and the more they know about you, the better it is, actually. And then you might have, like Nanette and I have worked on, we've worked on a couple projects, but we talk about working on different ones as well. If I'm going for a client, there might be a piece of it I can't do and a piece she can do. So it's more about, I just love our industry and competition. You have a few out there that, they'll take an idea and run with it, and even though it was yours. We've had that happen. But, the thing is that it doesn't matter, because you're going to attract the client you need to attract, and that's going to be like you. And that's really what it comes down to. And it's okay. It is. So, ask away. And people are great about helping and giving information. So absolutely. Any last tips? We're already down to the hour already. I'm so glad you guys joined us. It was wonderful. And it's refreshing.
Competition out there.
What's that?
No, I was just saying there's enough competition out. I mean, opportunities out there that, it really doesn't us in terms of getting business.
Absolutely. I agree. I absolutely agree. And on a lot of the platforms, people will share that there's an opportunity for something and for work. So it definitely pays to be involved in the industry groups, especially on Facebook. So and I just think I'm excited for you guys for the new year, because I know it's going to bring a lot of changes for you, but exciting changes.
Yeah.
And just take it a step at a time. That's all we can do with any of our goals.
Exactly.
Is one step at a time. And as you break, how to break them down better than into your buckets. So, we can all take a lesson from that. Break it into small chunks, and then you realize you're making it, that you're actually getting there. And I think that's great advice. Any last comments, Christina?
I'm just glad that I found this resource. I think that's really important, being connected. And it's been really helpful. And I'm from New Hampshire.
You're from where?
I'm from New Hampshire.
Really? Where are you?
Exeter, on the seacoast.
Oh, okay. Well, I pass that all the time when I want to go to Rockport, Mass. So I'm always a big fan of, if I'm in the area and if you come up to Sunapee, got to get in touch.
Okay. Yes, definitely.
That's awesome. And it's funny because George and I are both in Virginia.
That's weird.
Isn't that funny? The irony of that. You never know.
Tell me, where are you at again?
I'm in Mechanicsville, right outside of Richmond, right north of Richmond.
Oh, I know what Mechanicsville is. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I am. So we'll have to get together if you're over this way.
Yeah. How far is that from Fredericksburg?
About an hour and a half. Well, maybe only an hour.
I said it because my daughter attends University of Mary Washington in Fredericksburg.
Oh, yes. We pass all the time going up north to family. Yep. Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. You don't look old enough to have a daughter that old.
Actually, my daughter, it's funny. My daughter's 18. My son is 21.
Oh, wow. You know, my baby just turned, I kept saying my youngest is 21, and I went, you just had a birthday. I have a 22-year-old as my youngest. It was like a shock. I know, it goes too fast. Do you have children, Christina?
Yeah, I have 10-year-old twins.
Oh,
cool. Boys, boy, girl, boys, boy and girl. Oh, what a blessing. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
They're gonna love you working from home too. Now in the summer they'll be a great distraction. But my kids always knew if I was on the phone or doing something, just wait a minute. So yeah, but anyway. All right, Nanette, you take us out. Any last comments?
okay.
Thank you, guys.
No, I think this has been a wonderful exchange. I wish both of you a lot of luck as you build your business. I know, it's exciting and scary, but you can do it. And so I'm happy to share my knowledge, and I know Tammy is as well. And so good luck the new year.
Appreciate it. Thank you. This is really great. This was really great. Tammy, thank you for contacting me again this morning.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, hold on a minute as we get off live. Just hold on 1 minute. But Merry Christmas, everybody. We wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a brand new year. We look forward to seeing you in the new year. Ask us any questions too in the community or on our YouTube channel. We'd love to chat.
Exactly. Bye-bye.
See ya.